Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Preschool All-Stars podcast. I'm Bethany Johnson, and I'm joined today by Marcie Cholewinski. How are you doing today, Marcie?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I can't wait to hear what you got going on. Can you give us a little backstory of what's your background and why you decided to do this?
Well, I've been a public school preschool teacher for 18 years. I still am currently.
Okay.
And probably about a year ago, I was very frustrated with some special education issues with my children. And it was the first time I ever felt really unhappy at work. I've always loved my job. Throughout the summer, I toyed with the idea of daycare. And then I was like, definitely, I cannot do that all day long. And I went back to work in August and decided just to change my outlook, be positive. By the second week of school, I was so done. I knew that I could not do it for another whole entire, year. It would not be my forever career. That had never crossed my mind before, ever. I really thought I was going to be
18 years you were doing it.
18 years.
So you thought it was going to be up until this past year.
Yeah, always. I never thought I'd leave or do anything different. So by October, I happened to run across a Facebook promotion of Joy's and about the free book. Free book. What could it hurt? So ordered that, was really excited to get it in, read it, highlighted bookmarks. I used little cards it came with and would mark things. And I just thought by October, this is my plan. I have to have a plan before I do anything. My husband and I we're a family of 10. We have 8 kids.
Woo!
I can't just walk away from my career and say bye, like a lot of the, younger teachers do. And this just seemed like such a wonderful outlet for me because I did not feel, and I still do not feel, burnt out of teaching.
Right.
It's going into the building every day and feeling like I know what all of my children in my class need, and I cannot do it.
Yes, that's exactly how I felt. It's such a powerless, terrible feeling.
It's a feeling of failure every day when you know what they need, but you can't do it. Your hands are tied. And I was so unhappy with that. And it broke my heart for all of my students. I have 20 in my class. They have such extensive needs, more so than I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And we just are not doing right by these children in public schools. So I was very set on starting my own home daycare and home preschool, not daycare. And because I wanted that for a little bit of that freedom for my own children. And so I started thinking about it. My husband was very, very supportive. We actually have a very wonderful spot in our house. We have 3 rooms, actually, that would be perfect for our home preschool. I thought about doing it in the mornings and in the afternoons. I had a whole plan together. I would get ready for work every morning, listening to your podcast, going through Joy's. Yeah, I really did. And just these women, I related so much to everything that they were saying, no matter where they were kind of coming from in life. It just was so relatable, and I would just keep it in my head. This is my plan. This is what I need to do. And I studied
every day, right? You're still going
every
to work
day.
every day at this point.
Yes. So by December, I really thought, you know what? I watched one of your podcasts and the lady talked about doing a Saturday morning preschool group while she was still teaching. And I probably watched that 5 times, and I thought I should do that to kind of get my name out there. I come from a very small town, very small. So I didn't feel like it was going to be a huge obstacle for me, but it's a huge change for what I'm known for. And so I thought, let me put together a Saturday morning preschool group, 30 minutes every Saturday morning, and I'd include a video. I did it. I put it out there in December. maybe, well, I created it in December. I'd say I put it out there in January, and I was getting messages. And I thought, this is awesome, because now I have all these connections
Mhm.
for when I open my home preschool.
Yeah.
And I immediately got about 7 to 9. I had like 2 kind of floaty kids that were off and on, close friends of mine. And so I did the online group,
Okay.
and that was adorable. They were so great. That was so much
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
I've done that for 2 months.
Okay.
So even going further back to January, my husband sends me, I'm at work, we're dancing, listening to YouTube, and he sends me a picture of a building and just says, I've been looking around at buildings in our town. And I'm like, why are you doing this to me? And it was just like this beautiful building. And I'm like, okay, so I want that now.
Yeah.
And through this long series of events, I ended up having to post my resignation like on Facebook. I had to put it out there because they posted my job, because I had to tell them I was leaving. And in a small town, you can imagine all of the talks. I really wanted to put it out there, all of my reasons and what I was going to do with my life after that.
Yeah.
So everyone was kind of talking, and just by chance, someone reached out to me about a building that they were getting ready to vacate. Well, it turns out they were getting the pretty building that I wanted.
Ah.
And I'm like, are you serious? I just went up there. I'm going to see it on Tuesday. And they're like, no, I signed a contract for it.
Oh man.
So at first I was really upset. Then I was like, you know what? That's fine. She's reached out to me to help me, and I'll go see the other building.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be signing a lease on that building this week.
Yay! That's so exciting.
Yes, it's very, very exciting. And things work out how they're supposed to. So I didn't get the building I wanted. I had gone ahead and I got zoned. Like I went through the measures of getting my home zoned for preschool. That worked out. It did take a little while, but it worked out fine. There were no bumps in the road with that. I don't need it now, but I live in a town where there is no preschool. There's no childcare.
Wow.
So we have the one in my town, actually, the one public preschool class that I teach at the elementary school.
Wow.
Right now.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. How small is your town?
I think I looked up like 2,000 children, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe that,
okay.
I don't know if that's it. I don't know. We're small. We don't have a Walmart or a Target. That's like,
oh wow.
We don't have anything like that.
Wow.
We have
That's
nowhere to buy
you don't even
clothes.
have a Walmart.
No, we don't have a McDonald's. We don't have, a Sonic. We don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I can really explain it without numbers is
you did it. You did it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And lots of fields, lots of farmers. I have cows in front of my house. So once the word got out about that, I had watched so many videos about like the marketing, and I ordered back in October, going backwards again. I joined the hub. I joined Preschool All Stars. I bought Preschool in a Box. I had all of it, and I still do. And I was really like, I followed all the steps to get my website up and do all, all the things, the EIN and the LLC. That was so helpful because I would have had no idea. It was still kind of stressful because that business part is not something that I'm familiar with being a teacher.
Totally.
So I went through all those steps back in the fall with all of Joy's materials. And so when we started kind of putting it out there that we were going to be getting a building, we were going to add in some childcare hours because the need is so great. It's not necessarily something that's near and dear to me, but it's needed. And the people in our community that I've taught all their kids. I know all of them. It's really needed. So I will be opening a preschool / childcare center. So,
wow, so exciting.
It is. It's just really grown. It's just changed.
Yeah, in a very short period of time.
Quickly.
Yeah,
quickly.
totally.
Yes.
So when do you open?
I am Probably going to open in September.
Okay.
I think I'm going to do it as a school year type,
Mhm.
really stick to preschool because education is really the center of my world and
Yeah.
always has been. I would like to open a little bit earlier in August, especially to accommodate teachers
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
have to go back to work
Mhm.
mid-August around here. So I would like to be able to open in August for maybe some summer campish type weeks,
Mhm.
just to kind of like soft open and kind of get everything rolling before school
Yeah.
begins. So
So
that's the plan.
the place that you are moving into, it was already used as a preschool or as
It was
daycare?
not.
Oh, it wasn't.
It
Okay.
was no. We
Okay.
do not have it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so it was a salon,
Oh, okay.
and
So
it
you
was
have to get
a
it, like, do you have to put a lot of work in construction wise to get it like all up to code and licensing?
well, I have sent what is our functional design plan, is what we have in Virginia. I'm
Okay.
assuming most places have that.
Yeah.
We sent that in. My husband was great at measuring the building and drawing it out beautifully. We've changed it 300. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've changed it a lot,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that was approved by the state
Awesome.
because, of course, I'm going through the licensure process, huge application,
Hmm.
and I needed to get that straight first. So I think that we will be probably knocking down 2 walls, which I think is easier than adding walls, maybe. But it's going to work out fine. I need to add a fence for the playground, but other than that, it has multiple bathrooms, which is a big key point.
Hmm.
So
How many classrooms
I
are
think
you going to have?
I believe between 4 and 5. I'm kind of going back and forth,
Hmm.
and it's so hard not knowing who, like, two, threes, or fours. How many you're going to get of each,
Yeah.
and determining all that.
If you
So
build it, they will come. Isn't that what they
yes.
said?
Well, and
Yeah.
another really positive aspect is, as of like yesterday, so I'm approved for 48 kids
Oh,
in
wow.
the building.
Okay.
I think I'm going to stick with about 36.
Okay. Because you want smaller class
So,
sizes.
yes. And I don't think I'm going to utilize the whole building just yet. I
Okay.
mean, I think jumping into this, I'm trying to be safe.
Hmm.
I want to provide what's needed out there, but I also want to be smart.
Yeah.
And like you said, smaller class sizes. I want to make sure that everything we're doing is absolutely,
Quality.
yes, high quality, that
Mhm.
everything is wonderful
Yep.
before we really, go huge. So I'm thinking 4 to 5 classes, and I already have 19 children on a wait list.
Oh my
So
gosh. So you're already like over half full and
yes,
you haven't even like started really on the building much.
no, I have not.
Girl, this is like every all-star's dream, I feel like. I mean, you went from like, I'm gonna try and teach for another year to like, definitely not. I gotta figure something else out to actually, I'm gonna have a whole center in like a few months.
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
And how does that
yes,
make
and
you feel?
I feel very I'm just very fortunate that my husband has been so supportive. He always has been with everything, but he, sending me the building, he's kind of like, why don't we just go ahead and jump?
Mm-hmm.
And going to stand in the parking lot and looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe we should just do this. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, just jump, might as well just jump, we're up here. So
Yeah. Having
it's
support is such a huge, it's a game changer. It's a game changer.
it
I mean,
is.
many ladies do this without the support too, but like that's, and kind of the all-stars is their support when they don't have that support at home, but it is so it's totally different when you have that support at home because you already question yourself a million times when you do this. When you're starting something new, you already question yourself. So to have someone like in your corner that will be there and tell you you got this when you're questioning yourself is makes it so much easier to believe that you can do it.
Yes. And if you don't have support, I mean, just listening to the videos of Joy and you and all the other all stars, just constantly pouring into the idea that you
Mm-hmm.
can do this. It is
Mm-hmm.
possible. You can make it. your own. It might not look how you think it's going to look in the beginning. It might end up bigger. It might not look like the girl you're watching on the internet, but that idea, your ideas can come to life. It just, hearing that positive feedback is really wonderful to have. So
yes. Wow, I'm so excited for you. Okay, so are you gonna have like a niche, or what's gonna be your big marketing point? I mean, you already are like half full. So what have you been marketing as?
well, I started a Facebook page for my preschool, and I've kind of been putting up just ideas of like inspiration photos of what I want it to look like, which is very calm, cozy. I really want that home preschool feel, while also really being concerned with safety and professionalism.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to feel commercial. Like a lot of the aesthetic things I like about my home, I'm going to transfer to the building.
Love that. Yeah.
I want it to feel welcoming. I don't want it to feel like a business.
Yes, totally.
So
That's my
really
biggest thing with starting a center, because, when we're talking about expanding, my original thing was to get another house to turn it into a schoolhouse like Joy. And then I found out I can't really do that here in Nevada. So I was like, well, then it would be like a center, getting a building. But I love my homey atmosphere. I love that I know all my families. I love that it's one little room and people, it just feels like home. And I'm worried that if I expanded to something bigger, then I would lose that. So what are the things, when you have that in mind, what are your big points to like make sure that you include, so you keep that vibe?
I really, starting off is just going to be how I set it up originally. Like with the furniture, I'm going to try to go with like natural wood, not a lot of bright colors. Because I just feel like kids are so much, like they're so bright in themselves. I just want like very, like a vintagey, creamy color walls. I envision like plants and like dim-ish lighting, natural light coming in if there is lighting, that type of vibe, because I just found that over the years, my classroom is similar to that, but it is hard to make it my own, through and through. Trying to keep the environment calm, because I feel like so many children now in that age group are easily overstimulated.
Oh yeah.
Easily excitable. Like I just would like it to be a calm place where they can think for themselves, because that's such an important part of any type of preschool curriculum. It should be, is how teaching them how to have their own thoughts. And I feel like you can't really do that if the environment is so busy. So I'm really starting with, decorating. I've seen some really great ideas about how to make your classroom comfortable. I posted the other day about, I saw the idea of wearing slippers in class, like having a pair of slippers for each child. So I love that. I'm definitely going to steal it. And I had some of the parents comment under there, like, I love that idea. That is so cute. I'm like, perfect. Thank you. I'm glad to get that feedback, because I think it's cute too. So
actually, I really like that too. Might have to implement that too. Okay. So I know that every public school educator knows exactly what you mean when they know what these kids need and we're not giving it to them. And so I just think, and I've talked to, there's a lot of all-stars who were public school educators, and not as many that were preschool. Actually, most of them I've talked to, I feel like were older grades. There were some preschools, but what, for other people who may not be so familiar with what happens in a public school classroom, what are some of those things that we need to implement in that you want to implement because they need and they're not getting it there? What are the things that are really close to your heart that you're excited to implement because you're finally giving them what they need?
I see that so many of the children lack self-regulation skills. They lack communication skills, whether it is a true deficit or just kind of environmental. And I always say it's the world that we've created right now. It's nobody's fault. I have great relationships with my parents. I actually think I have wonderful parents who are dying for help. And as a teacher, right now, I cannot tell them everything I know, all the resources I have that could help them.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like, not your place because you're a
Mm-hmm.
teacher. I want to be in the place to where in my own preschool, I can say, look, come to my office. Let's get on the computer because these are the resources. If your pediatrician's not helping you out, look, let's skip and let me show you who you can talk to. This is who I've experienced. Because like I said, I have 8 children and their needs range from extreme special needs up to extremely gifted and everything in between. So I feel like I am in the middle of constantly meeting so many different needs. I've experienced a lot with specialists and different types of schooling. And I want to be able to tell parents that, this is what I see in your child. These are just my suggestions, but I want to help you. You can't do that in public schools. You have to be very tight-lipped. I've sat in meetings and I've had to say, look, whatever you want to try with your child, it's hair color. You can change it. You don't have to stick with it. It's not a tattoo. But that's as much as I can say is like give these like weird analogies so that because I have so much I want to share with them that they could just take or leave, but I can't.
Yep.
So I see like so much aggression. And that comes from not being able to communicate and not being able to self-regulate. These children are really just literally screaming for help.
Yeah.
And
it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse in the pandemic. Because it was already bad. It was already bad. And now it's gotten so much worse.
Yes, it's so much worse. And to be able to say to families, let me help you, let me show you, let me find someone who can help you if I can't help you. That to me is going to be priceless because that's kind of where I feel so stifled as a public school teacher right now. Looking at kids where I've got such extreme special needs coming from 2 or 3 in the classroom, and I have 2 or 3 that have extreme behaviors, but all they really need is to bank time with me. I need time to form a relationship with them.
Yeah.
I can't do that because there's chairs flying in the corner. They're screaming, they're hitting, they're pulling my hair. All I need to do is be able to spend some really good quality time to build that trust with these other children. And like I said, it feels like failure every day walking in there when you just say, I know what that child needs from me and I cannot do it. So that's really what I'm looking forward to in a smaller environment. I really thought that I would be a teacher at my preschool. And the more I think about it, I do believe I'm going to be more of a director and not a classroom teacher, but to be a resource and an advocate and a co-type teacher for every classroom and just spread myself around where I'm needed at the time and for the kids that need me.
Yep.
I just think that's something that individualized care for a short period of time can give that child so much hope and progress in the future. But we can't do it. You know where I'm at now. I cannot do it.
Yes. So. These kids need that so badly. And right now I have a teacher in my preschool, and just coming in to like sit and play with some of the, harder kids while she works with someone else, and like having that one-on-one time is so invaluable, and they never get it. They will never get that in a public school. One-on-one time is like, you can try really hard to have one-on-one time, but you're going to be yelling across the classroom and picking and tying someone's shoe while you're doing it, and you're never able to be really there. So having that one-on-one time is just like, gosh, I don't think parents understand how important it is. But like the kids like light up when they see it, to get that one-on-one attention from their teacher, who's like, this mythical figure. I feel like this person who's just here to be nice, and they live in the classroom and they never go grocery shopping or whatever, to have that one-on-one attention is so cool for them.
Yeah. And what I find myself doing is I don't spend, the little bit of planning period I get 30 minutes every day. I keep 1 or 2 kids. They don't want to go. We call it resource classes. They refuse to go because they are determined to get that time because they know they need it. That's what brings them comfort, and they won't leave and they won't go. So I end up constantly, the whole entire day is spent with students, pouring into them, and it can be really draining. And it is what I love to do. I mean, the type of students that need that is really what is my favorite thing about school, but it's draining and it's overwhelming, and I can't keep that up forever. Pouring all day into the 20 and then going home to 8 that I also have to pour into all night and in the morning.
Girl.
So
Girl, I don't know how you do it, because I didn't even have a kid when I was teaching in the district, and I knew that I couldn't have a kid and be teaching, because I was just so drained by the end of the day. Like, I don't know how you do it, how you go home, because I know how drained you are, and then you deal with 8 kids. You are a true superhero. How are you going to deal with not to put, stress you out before you need to be, but have you thought about hiring? And are you worried about that?
Of course, yes. I'm worried about it because I am going to be so particular. My master plan is to steal teachers from the public school I work at.
I was going to say, you probably know so many teachers that are great, that are disgruntled, that you can take.
And they're people that I know love children. They're people that I can trust. They're highly educated. And really there are instructional assistants is who I'm really like eyeballing right now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, you're wonderful people. You're underappreciated. You're underpaid. Like, come with me.
That's like, my teacher was a kindergarten instructional assistant. And that's great because I couldn't pay, I wanted to recruit, a teacher, but I knew I couldn't pay them what the public school was paying them. But the instructional assistants are amazing as well. And the district treats them even worse. So come here and I'll give you a classroom and you can, totally. That's the way to go.
And I have 9 women that have reached out about teaching.
Wow. Oh, so you're already good. Hopefully you won't have that terrible hiring crisis that I'm hearing so many people talk about.
Right. I don't think that'll be me. I think that I will have huge guilt for not being able to hire everybody that's reached out to me, because I know almost all of them in some capacity. So, and they're all wonderful people. So I do feel, again, I'm so fortunate that I have this small town has given me this gift, because, but
you're going to give the public school a hiring crisis. They're going to be like, she stole all our teachers.
Well, I can't tell you when I, spilled the beans on Facebook in January, how many teachers private messaged me and texted me and said, keep me in mind. I might leave in the future. Please let me know how it goes. Like, I might want to come work for you when I retire. And so that's,
I don't know any public school teacher who hasn't been considering leaving the field, either retiring early or just leaving. I mean, we already had a huge problem with teacher retention. And now every teacher I talk to, every teacher I see online, every teacher is talking about leaving. It's pretty scary.
It is. It really is for our children.
Are your children in public school?
They are. Yes.
Okay.
Our oldest will be 16 in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
And our youngest is 8. And so they're all in the public school here. I do have one of my 7th graders start going into 8th next year. She's actually going to do online school. She is so miserable. And, I've never thought I would let my child do something like that ever. I've always been such a huge fan. And now I'm like, why do I need her to stay for what? Because she's not happy. So we're going to give that a go. Like I said before, it's not permanent. So if that's what she wants, and she is going to sign a contract with me that says I will this is what I'm going to put into it, Mom. And she's actually probably going to be with me a lot in my office.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she'll be a teenager, and you know, it gives me more time with her, and it's kind of a win-win. So, I mean, who am I to tell her, no, you absolutely can't do that? It's a horrible idea, because it's not. So
Yeah, that's the thing. We know what's going on in the classroom. Like, I think about it all the time, and I just have a 1-year-old, and I'm like,
right.
oh, what am I going to do with him for kindergarten? Like, I don't know. I mean, I think he
Yeah.
could thrive wherever he goes, hopefully, but like, I want to give him a certain education, and what will that look like? And it could be in public school, but it could not. I don't know. Like, it's hard to
Right.
imagine him in that scenario when I've been in that scenario on the teacher side, you know?
Yeah. And I will say, her in particular, she is a very typical learner. She has A's and B's. She doesn't play sports. She has a few select friends. She goes off with them on the weekends and sleepovers. And so she sees them. She doesn't really have a whole lot tying her there. I have other children that are very deep into a sport, or require like a very higher level of teaching, or that have extreme special needs. My 2 youngest do. I don't think I could ever do that. They will stay, because public school has so many more resources. Do I think it's perfect? Oh, I absolutely do not.
Yeah.
But
it works.
I do feel like
people.
that is, it's the best choice. I cannot be responsible for that type of education, even with all the experience I have. I don't want to be responsible for that. I feel like the public school is the best place for them. So
totally. And I mean, public schools do have great things to offer, you know, like the extracurriculars, absolutely. And they have amazing teachers in them, you know, like the majority, not always, but the majority are amazing teachers, and sometimes amazing admin, not always, you know, like it's made up of people who want to do amazing things. And that's what's so frustrating. And that's why so many people are leaving, just like you and me, because they can't. And it's just, there's only so many times that you can go into work seeing people suffer and not being able to help them, you know, like it was really traumatizing to me to have that over and over again. It's just unsustainable for your own mental health.
Yeah, this definitely isn't like a building level issue, and it's not even like a central office district issue. It is at the state level, you know, or higher. Like it's just across the board. I definitely want to put that out there. There's issues everywhere, but I'm so excited for the opportunity that I've kind of landed.
Girl, you got a lot of amazing stuff coming up. So are you still doing your Saturday online class?
I actually had planned on doing it February through May. And once I realized I was getting a building and I had this ginormous application to fill out, and figuring out, you know, construction and getting a fence and just buying a curriculum, and really looking at everything I need to do, I kind of put it out there after the first month that I didn't know if I was going to be able to sustain doing this every single week. And a lot of the parents said, we totally understand. Take your time, put us on your wait list, and get back with me. So a lot of them did kind of slowly drop off, because I had put it out there that I just am running out of some time to do it, but I want to keep going. So I actually only had about 2 kids that stuck with me for the past couple weeks, which was actually a lot of fun. I got to know them a lot better, and they're both on my wait list for my local preschool.
Nice.
So that ended up being amazing. And I won't be doing it anymore. We stopped it this week. So
yeah, well, you got a lot going on.
Yes.
You're building a whole business. That's okay.
Yes.
How did being part of the Preschool All-Stars help you along your journey right now? How is it helping, rather? You're right in the middle of your journey.
Oh, I think it helped so much. It just gave me so much, I guess, power behind the thoughts that I was having. It gave me direction on how the All-Stars, you're introduced to other people in the industry on there that do other things. like the people who do childcare, who do things differently than you. It gave me so many ideas that kept me second guessing what I was thinking. So, and just having the support up there and seeing the success of other people, seeing the other ideas, it's so valuable, because you can't get that anywhere else. I mean, it's just not found. So
absolutely. And last question, what is some encouragement that you can give someone who was in your position? I mean, less than a year. Usually I say a couple years, a year ago, but you're less than a year ago, who needs to escape from what they're doing, but isn't sure that this could happen for them.
Well, I definitely say soak in as much information as possible. Almost like study the videos and really research what will work for you. Come up with a solid plan and really think it all the way through. And above all else, fight for your happiness. Yeah. Because that's something I've said the whole time. Like, I will not let anything steal my happiness. And I feel like I've worked, I have built this huge family that I love. And I'm so happy to have a wonderful husband. I love my actual job. I will not be unhappy in it. So that's my number one thing. Like, don't let anybody take that away from you. So find another outlet, find another way to get that happiness back.
Love that. I love that so much. And we need teachers like you who are so passionate and are trying to do what they can to give these kids what they need, what we know they need.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for talking to me. I can't wait to speak to you again for an update episode and hear all about your center. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing.
Yes,
and
I'd love to do that.
All the luck. So much luck. Thank you so much for talking to me, Marcie.
If you loved today's episode, then you are going to love this. I want to give you a free gift in your hands. This is a copy of my book, Start Your Preschool, and I want to get it to you for free. Yes, I said for free. It is a 300-page book. It'll help you learn the step-by-step process to actually starting your local or your online preschool. Every single step that I walked myself through, as well as the thousands of women who've created their own successful preschools, have gone through the exact steps listed in this book. Not to mention, I also share 20 amazing women's stories. So you can see how not only did it work for me, but it works for amazing women just like you as well. I want to get you this free copy. Just go to freepreschoolbook.com or click the link in the description and we'll get it to you today. Again, just go to freepreschoolbook.com and we'll get it right to you.